Hi, I'm Antonio with Board Game to Tears, and it seems like these days everyone's doing a top 10 video. So I thought I might do my own. This one is going to cover the top 10 board game YouTube channels. There's a lot of content that revolves around board games, whether it be board game strategy, a lot of reviews, there's a few with playthroughs, but I wanted to go over my 10 favorite. I actually watch a lot of different YouTube channels, and I found 40 that I put into a list. And I was thinking about doing a top 40, but for now, let's just go ahead and do that top 10. And if you're interested in it, I can go over the other 30 that I find interesting to watch. The first one is Geek and Sundry. Now, a lot of the people in the board game community remember and have fond memories of watching Tabletop with Will Wheaton, and that's the reason it's number 10 on my list. Although that series has been gone for quite a few years, you can still watch the old episodes, and it's just so much fun to see an actor from one of my favorite shows, Star Trek The Next Generation, playing board games with famous people. There's just all kinds of fun things to watch there. And even the newer stuff with Becca Scott is really good. It's a lot of fun to watch. Becca Scott is now over on the channel Good Time Society, and so her content is still really good. But just watching those old videos, even though Geek and Sundry doesn't really put out much anymore, there's been some, I don't know what's happened with them, but Becca's left the channel now. Will and others left a long time ago, so it doesn't look like it's going to keep putting out content. But for now, all that content's there, and it's still top notch. It's some of the most well-produced content that's ever been put out, because a lot of money was put into that Tabletop series. First of all, I love watching those old episodes. I haven't seen them all, and I'd like to go and get through all. I think it was 5 seasons that they had. Number 9 is Actual, and I think that's how you pronounce it. I'll have links in the description. But his videos are great. He's been putting out videos for about a decade, I think, and they're just really good, entertaining. They're very funny. And he also has videos on how you can manage your board game collection. You don't have to buy all the games and every expansion, which I disagree with. You need all the games and every expansion. No, I'm just kidding. But his views really help balance me so that I don't go and buy more than I really need to play. So I really appreciate John Perkis, who runs the Actual YouTube channel. My number 8 is Stonemaier Games. Now, they're a board game publisher, but Jamie Stegmaier has a great YouTube channel where he talks about more than just his games. And he has this series that only talks positively about games, and it's just so enlightening about what he sees in the mechanisms of the games. It gives you the point of view of a successful designer and publisher as regards these games, and it's helped me make a lot of good decisions when it comes to what to purchase. And he also has some really good insights on the community, and I just appreciate Jamie Stegmaier's YouTube channel. So it's my number 8. My number 7 is a good old classic, Shut Up and Sit Down. Now, these guys are known for making just great humorous videos, and their reviews are top notch. I really enjoy all of the reviewers there. I still like listening to old reviews with Paul, and of course Quinn's is a gem, and the new guy Tom is just awesome. I love his videos. These guys are just great, and so I enjoy watching Shut Up and Sit Down. The reviews tend to run a little bit long for me, but I think what really makes them stand out is they talk a lot about how the games make you feel when you play them. So it's really interesting. I tend to like games that they've given negative reviews, but it still gives me uh, another perspective, a different perspective on the games that I love. So, but I really appreciate their reviews. My number 6 favorite YouTube channel is Legendary Tactics. Now, this is a more recent discovery for me since I've started a channel that's dedicated to board game strategy and tournaments. I was looking for other channels that did this. Legendary Tactics, well, although they focus a lot on war games, which isn't really my cup of tea, they talk about a lot of different games, and their strategy videos are really top notch. They're well produced, and they have this little thing where they show lots of different clip art, and a lot of that's really amusing how it fits along with what they're talking about. And they don't show their faces in the video, but I finally did get to see what they look like because they made an appearance on Quackalope recently, so that was really cool to see them. But I really like their content, and they're very interactive, so that's a channel where I watch almost every one of their videos except for the playthroughs. And you'll find throughout these videos that I don't have time to watch live playthroughs, and so I tend to avoid channels that do that. So you won't see many of those in my top 10 list. But besides the live playthroughs, they have a lot of different content that keeps me going back to their channel. My number 5 favorite YouTube channel is Watch It Played, and they started out with Rodney Smith. He's one of the big wigs in the board game community, you could say, where as far as producing content, and his how to play videos have taught me so many different games and taught my friends so many different games. He's the go-to guy to learn games, and although his style of teaching isn't for everyone, I love that it's concise and thorough, and he always has a smile on his face. So he's the one to go to. And recently, they've added a lot more different content. They added Chaz Marler with his Momenten, which talks about the 10 hottest games on Board Game Geek and how they've risen and fall. And I always watch Cult of the News with Matthew Jude, which has some very entertaining board game news. And Paula Deming does several skits, and she also does her series Table for One on their channel. And they have also added Monique and Naveen from Before You Play. And I don't watch those videos, and I don't really watch Before You Play because I don't really have interest in watching full playthroughs, but they're really nice, and I do enjoy their addition to the channel. But Before You Play, if you like playthroughs, they're really well produced. But Watch It Played is a great channel, and I watch almost everything that comes out from their channel. My number 4 favorite YouTube channel is Board Game Dave. And I started watching him in October when I met him at the World Series of Board Gaming. And he's one of the nicest guys you'll ever meet. And I started watching his channel and realized there is something unique about his channel. I mean, he doesn't do anything that's different, but what's unique is just how well produced, how nice he is. He's an educator, and he really has a nice perspective on games. His videos aren't overly long, so I enjoy going through them. They're very well edited, and they're entertaining to watch. So Board Game Dave is a must watch. I watch every video that he comes out with. My number 3 favorite channel is No Rolls Barred. And these guys are hilarious. Now, their series they've been doing called House Rules, it's the videos that have me laughing out loud. You know how you kind of chuckle at videos? Sometimes it's just uncontrolled laughter watching these videos. It's amazing. And we've tried some of these house rules, such as their Guess Who. You have to describe the personalities. I mean, it was genius. And when we played it, it was hilarious. They also have their board game club where it shows them playing these different games, and the personalities are just great. The caution for families is that they do have quite a bit of rude words on the channel, but they're bleeped, but still you can tell what they are. So it's not something I can watch with my family. So, but it is a very entertaining channel. My number 2 favorite YouTube channel is Board Game Ramblings. And Johannes and Sunniva are just the best at doing reviews. I love how matter of fact they are, and what fun personalities they are. I mean, this couple just has such a good dynamic, and their series that they did on Keep or Cull is one of my favorites. I love those videos because I have to make that decision all the time whether to keep or get rid of this board game, and seeing their perspectives and how surprising it is on what they sometimes get rid of and what they keep really helps me make those kind of decisions too. And of course, I watch almost all the reviews if it's something I'm interested in purchasing. They have such a good dynamic. They are the best board game reviewers, though. I go to them when I really need to make a decision on purchasing a board game or not. So they are great. And Board Game Ramblings on YouTube. And my number 1 favorite YouTube channel about board games is, of course, The Dice Tower. Now, you might think, well, that's too easy. They've been around the most. They've produced the most videos. They're the big wig. But you know what? No one does it better. They're the best and the biggest for a reason. Tom Vassell has built something great. It's just starting off from doing text reviews, decades ago, and now onto this successful YouTube channel. And all their content is just top notch. I don't watch all their content, but they have a lot of different things that are on the channel. In fact, I've decided I'm going to do my top 30 favorite segments on the Dice Tower. So I've made a list, and I'll explain what my favorites are, and the ones that are down lower, I'll say why I don't usually watch those or what they could do better off that. But they're still number 1 for a reason, and I watch them every week. If I have limited time in a week, they're still the videos I watch or just listen to while I'm working, because their content is great. It's entertaining. You get a lot of different perspectives. These guys have been reviewing board games for a long time, so whether I agree or disagree with their review, knowing their personalities and what they've reviewed in the past can give me an idea of whether it's a game I would like to play or purchase or not. So the Dice Tower deserves to be in this number 1 spot. Now, I'd like to know what your favorite board game channels are that I haven't mentioned yet. And when I go to make my video on the other 30 channels, maybe I'll add a few more. If you suggest one that I haven't mentioned in the top 10, I'll have to go check it out. Maybe it's one I have known and it's just missed that top 10. So in the comments, put what your favorite board game channels are on YouTube. Talk to you later.